What's up, y'all? Toya here, and I am back with another video for y'all. Before we get into the video, make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Alright, y'all, so as we are entering into 2025, I thought that it would be a good idea to discuss this particular topic. Now, I'm pretty sure a majority of us have heard the statement, gig work is dead. And while there are plenty of reasons to believe this statement, I personally believe that there are a lot of other factors that could actually indicate that gig work might be on the rise again. Obviously, everyone has their own opinions, and most of that is going to be based off of their experiences, how long they've been doing gig work, what their market looks like, a lot of different things. But today we're going to go ahead and take a look at a broader picture and discuss whether or not gig work is dead, or is there actually going to be another big boom on the way. So let's talk about it. Now, when people argue that gig work is dead, there are two main factors that come to mind, and that's going to be the pay and oversaturation. And these are very valid reasons. Over the years, companies have prioritized profits more than anything, and they have been cutting driver pay. And this is in forms of them just straight up lowering the base pay or bundling orders so they don't have to pay as much individually. So the apps, they get cluttered up with all of these crap offers, and those really quality offers that we're all looking for, they're harder and harder to come by. Combine that with the fact that gig work is getting more and more popular year after year. There have been a lot of people that are flocking to these apps, and it's getting super oversaturated. So simple math would tell you that if you have less quality orders, more people on the platform, what that equals out to is not going to be in the driver's favor, unfortunately. Now, don't get me wrong. Yes, there are still a lot of people that can make some pretty good money on these apps. But for the most part, overall, it just hasn't been going in our favor. And that's just the direction that we've been heading in for some time now. And because of this, people are opting to go back to W-2s. Maybe instead of doing gig work full-time, they're doing it part-time, or they're just using it as a stepping stone to get into something better, which technically you should be, but that's a topic for another day. Now, on the flip side of things, there's actually still a chance that things can improve. Going into 2025, well, we're gonna go ahead and get some new administration. And we all know that one of the things that is on their agenda is to address the immigration issue. Gig apps have a huge immigrant and migrant problem. I touched on this earlier back in 2024 when I seen it firsthand on the Spark app. And it's been extremely frustrating for a lot of drivers because you have to go up against 4, 5, 6, maybe even more fraudulent accounts when you just have your one account. Maybe you have a buddy that's trying to do Spark with you or whatever other app. But regardless of whatever app you're trying to use, it's just gotten so bad that it's making a lot of them unusable in most cases. And on top of that, this just adds more fuel to the fire with that whole gig work is dead argument. Because not only is this oversaturating the apps even more, it also is creating another issue with the pay not being raised, because these individuals are taking pretty much every single order that they can get their hands on, and nobody in their right mind would actually pick up these orders. So the companies, they see like, oh, well, you know, they're taking these lowball offers, so hey, why raise the pay? They're taking them. And of course, they don't care who's taking them. As long as the job is getting done, they're still getting money in their pocket, so they're content. You know, all that talk about them increasing security measures and doing all of that, the verification process, obviously it ain't changed nothing. So they're getting their money at the end of the day. They don't care. They're not going to go ahead and do anything to change it. So with the possibility of new administration actually checking this off of their list, that actually could mean that there's going to be less fraudulent accounts on these apps. And that could finally open up the opportunity for us to start making some more money. Now, another thing to consider with this, if this does open up space on the apps, there are a lot of people that are on the wait list. They could finally get their opportunity to get onto the apps, but it's pretty much going to be the same thing in a sense of You're replacing one set of folks with another set of folks. Now, the second reason would be due to the fact that a lot of these companies, they are opting to use these third-party delivery services. And that's primarily because they're saving money going third-party instead of paying a W-2 employee. During Christmas time, how many of you guys saw ads for companies advertising same-day or next-day delivery services? Like, I swear I've never seen this many ads advertising that type of service in my life. Like, it was crazy. Now, most folks on the outside looking in, they're probably like, oh, okay, I can just go ahead and get some delivered. Cool. But we know that these are going to be gig workers actually completing these deliveries. Over time, more and more stores are being included on that list for same day or next day delivery. Even with some restaurants, there are some that have refused to partner with some of these food delivery apps, and yet they're slowly starting to get reeled in. There's a burger place that some of you guys might know. It's called Culver's, and they just recently, a few months ago, started offering delivery. This was one of those last fast food spots where, you know, they didn't want to participate in any type of delivery services. So when they announced that they were going to actually start offering delivery, I was kind of surprised, but at the same time, I felt that it was going to come eventually. Competing with all these other places that did offer delivery, they probably thought it was time. And that's the issue. It's becoming such a norm that if you aren't participating, you're pretty much on the losing end. Sure, you might have your loyal customer base that's going to keep coming back day in and day out. But if you compare that to the amount of people who would much rather go with the competition just because they can actually get it delivered to their doorstep, you're always going to lose that by a mile, unfortunately. So with more and more stores and restaurants opting to use these delivery services, well, guess what? That means more and more orders for gig workers. Now, I found this chart online here, and it's pretty much showing what the prediction is going to look like for same-day delivery. And if you want to pause to read the reasoning here, you're welcome to. But to sum up, they're pretty much saying that with the increased demand from the customers of them wanting to get items to their doorstep quicker, and with the fact that technology is constantly improving, you know, they can go ahead and do what they need to do on the back end to make it happen. They can fulfill these orders. So if you have that foundation where the technology is already pushing out the orders, the only thing you need is the drivers. And that's us. So if the orders are there, hey, we got more work for us. I think we can all agree that more and more stores have started to offer these delivery services over the years. And I'm not talking about, oh, you can go ahead and get it within 3 to 5 business days. I'm talking about you order at 8 a.m. and it's at your doorstep before noon. I can guarantee you that half of the stores that offer delivery services now, a few years back, you would have never thought that they would be available to be delivered to your doorstep same day. You can go back 10 years ago, 5 years ago, even the last 2 to 3 years. You can just see this curve just going up. Like, it's crazy how many stores have jumped on this bandwagon to get stuff delivered same day. And it's all about profits. Obviously, it's all about profits. They see there's one store doing it, they're successful, somebody else starts to do it, and then they're successful, then another store, they see like, oh, look at them, they doing it over there, so then they want to go ahead and start doing it. It's just everybody's hopping on that bandwagon because they see that it's so successful. And it's just gonna continue to grow. And keep in mind, this is just for the business to consumer. So you order from a store or a restaurant and it goes to a customer's doorstep. That's business to consumer. You have business to business. You got consumer to consumer. There's so many different ways that same day delivery can take over. And like I said, it's just gonna keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So between these two factors, even though it seems like things are slowing down, you know, there's gonna be work. Personally, I feel like it's just how you look at everything. If you say gig work is dead, gig work is gonna look dead to you. If you see that there's opportunity, then there's gonna be opportunity for you. Now, I understand that for folks who have been doing gig work for quite some time, you might be looking at how things are going today and you're trying to compare it to how it used to be, and you're thinking like, you know, it's not like how it was back in 2020 or 2017 or however long you've been doing gig work. But that's just life. You know, we all reminisce on what are the good old days, right? Like I said, some people might argue that during the pandemic, that was the peak of gig work. Prior to that or after, you know, everybody has their own different opinions. But I just consider those periods in time, I consider those as seasons. Different seasons are going to bring different climates. In a sense of gig work, you know, the reason as to why people got into gig work, that's always going to be different. Some people might have lost their job, so they turned to gig work. Some people didn't want to work for anybody, so they turned to gig work. And now in today's economy, a lot of people turn to gig work to get some additional money on top of what they're getting from their W-2s because they're not getting paid enough. The reasons are always going to change, just like the value of the dollar. Inflation is going up. You know, things that cost $1 a few years ago, they might be $3. It's just a different climate. Things are going to change. But regardless of all of those factors, time is going to continue to move in one direction, and that's going to be forward. So that means that a new season may be upon us. So maybe that next season for us will be the next big boom of gig work. Who knows? So with that being said, do you think gig work is dead, or is gig work just getting started? So yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for this topic. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what 2025 is going to bring us. There's definitely a lot of changes on the horizon, you know, and like I said, I'm just looking forward to seeing what it's going to bring us. So, but I would definitely love to know your thoughts on this topic. Like I asked you guys, do you think gig work is dead, or you think that it's actually going to continue to grow? So let me know in the comments. Now, before I go, I have to remind you guys to leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you do not miss a video. But I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna catch you guys on the next one. And as always, stay safe out there and keep grinding.